This is gonna save you time, energy, and sanity. Life is busy, but we all need to eat. And if you will just spend half an hour making a plan for meals for this month, it's gonna make the daily demands of supper time so much easier. Part of my job as a homemaker is managing the kitchen. That includes planning the meals, grocery shopping, getting supper on the table every night. And no matter how big your family is, that's not a small job. I've struggled for years to find ways to get this job done, and I've often grumbled and complained about it. Yes, we all need to eat multiple times every day. And it can seem like a really big burden, but you know what? It is such an opportunity for us to bless others with food. This is something that we get to do every day. And I'm sharing how I've been planning meals lately. I'm finding this to be simple and helpful right now, so I thought I would share it with you. Let's get into it. This is a little high tech, but stick with me. I need you to get a sheet of paper and a pen. On this paper, I'm gonna make 3 headings, and the first one is, what do we have? So I start by just assessing what we have in the fridge that needs to be used, as well as proteins that I've stocked in the freezer when they were a good price. And I've got some chicken breasts, I know I have ground beef in the freezer, and I usually do some prep with my meat before I freeze it. So I just list off what state those meats are in as well. So I have cooked ground beef, raw ground beef, meatballs, and I know I have a beef roast too. And then I've also got some raw chicken breast and some cooked chicken that's ready to make simple meals with. I have some chili in the freezer too. And in the fridge, I've got some gnocchi, I've got some pizza toppings, some carrots, peppers, lettuce, and tomato. Knowing what I have gives me a starting point with planning my meals because I want to make sure to use up what I already have here. It's already spent. The money's gone. And I want to use that food and not let it go to waste. So that is step 1, take inventory of what you have. Now, the second heading to go on my paper is, what will we eat? Seems like a simple enough question, right? You want to use up what you have so that food isn't going to waste. And you want to realistically plan your meals for the days that you need to cook and not plan for days that you don't need to cook. It's December right now, so we'll be having family gatherings and events going on. Not every night needs a supper plan. And appetites change around Christmas, in my experience. I mean, if we have a huge dinner one day, then the next day my kids just don't eat as much. And so we sort of find a balance between rich and light foods. So I don't want to plan big, heavy suppers every night. If you have events on the calendar that you need to bring food to, figure out what you're gonna make for that ahead of time so that brain work is done. We're likely also gonna have a number of meals together with my in-laws, and we're traveling back to Saskatchewan for a few days, so I've got a few days in there that I don't need to cook. I'm estimating I need meals for about 21 days out of the month, which is really low compared to most months. But I'm also just talking about suppers here. Breakfast and lunch, those are default, and I'm writing just suppers down here. You could write down your breakfasts and lunches too, if that helps you. So now I'm just gonna figure out my meals. First of all, I wanna look at what I have in my fridge. So I wanna make sure I use up that gnocchi. I have chicken in the freezer, so I'll make some chicken breast with that. I've got vegetables in the fridge. I can make a salad to go with that, and the meal is done. Easy. A few of our meals are also on a regular rotation, such as Taco Tuesday, we have a regular pizza night, and I like for Sunday suppers to be really simple and predictable, so it's a more restful day. So in the summer, we always had hot dogs for supper on Sundays, but now that it's winter, I've changed the plan to having a baked potato bar. So having some predictability to the menu makes planning much quicker. If we ate the same thing every single day, that would get tiresome, but once a week, no one complains about that when it's meals that we all actually like. So I just list the meals on here. Baked potatoes and chili. I've got pizza, beef tacos, chicken tacos, and we alternate beef one week, then chicken the next, because different members of my family like different ones better. Then we move on to other meals that we can make with what we have. I've got pizza, I already said pizza, pasta with meatballs and tomato sauce, Swedish meatballs, pasta with chicken and Alfredo sauce, cheeseburger soup. I'll add to my list with a few more simple meals for busy days, like I've got quesadillas, grilled cheese and soup, It's so helpful to have what you need for really simple meals. For the days that you might otherwise default to just ordering pizza, grilled cheese and soup is a lot cheaper than pizza. So I'm also going to indicate on here how many times I'm going to cook each of these meals, and then just add this all up to make sure that I'm coming to that number that I determined earlier for the number of days that I need meals planned for. In the past, I have planned exact days for every meal. So I actually have a calendar sitting in front of me, and I'll put specific meals down for specific days. I'm not doing that this time. I'm just giving myself a list of ideas to choose from for each day. Don't forget about baking. If you want to do any of that, add that here in the what we will eat category. I know it's not a meal, but it's something you need to plan for. The less trips you have to make to the store, the easier your life will be. Now we come to the third and final question to ask yourself, and that is, what do we need? You are just going to go through the meals that you've listed and make a list of all of the things you don't already have that you'll need to cook those meals. Don't forget to add any basic staples you need for breakfasts and lunches, and if you write those down, you won't forget about it, but I have to just make sure I don't forget things like milk, eggs, fruit, sandwich meat, any baking ingredients that I'm gonna need for Christmas baking. I usually end up not actually writing this down on my page because I use an app on my phone for shopping lists. So I enter the things that I need straight into my phone because that's what comes to the store with me. Getting my meals planned for the month rather than doing it on a weekly basis saves me so much time. Doing one bigger shopping trip for all of our pantry and freezer items, and then just supplementing with a few small trips to top things up in the fridge saves me so much energy, and this saves my sanity because I have less stress. I'm not wondering what's for supper and do we have what we need to make it, because I know we do. I can just look at my list and figure out what do I have the energy and capacity to actually cook today, and off we go. Especially in the winter, I don't want to make extra trips to the store when I could think ahead and get it all planned out in advance, because it's not fun going out when it's really cold outside. I hope this helps you calm the chaos in your home and makes your days a little simpler and more manageable. You can do this. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.